Today, get ready. Nicky Cutler is brand and culture and B2B marketing manager at Goorin Bros. I was going to say Bros. It wasn't even written. I practiced this intro. Okay, sorry. Let's start again.
All good.
Today, get ready. Nicky Cutler is brand and culture and B2B marketing manager at Goorin. And today, we'll be talking about how to build an ambassador program that uses relatable content to attract and convert customers. The do's, the don'ts, the mistakes, and how to succeed. I'm your host, Raphael Paulin-Daigle, and I'm the founder of SplitBase. This is Minds of eCommerce. Now, this episode is brought to you by SplitBase. At SplitBase, we help leading 8 and 9-figure brands such as Dr Squatch, Hyperice, and Amica grow through customer-focused conversion optimization programs. We look at your e-commerce funnel, we pinpoint exactly where it's leaking, and then, we help you fix it. The result, you get increased add to carts, increased conversions, higher AOV, and of course, then you get more money, which in return allows you to scale advertising profitably. We've been at it for over a decade and can help you manage the entire process from A to Z. So if you need help with conversion optimization, go to splitbase.com today to learn about how we can help you get the most out of your marketing spend. All right, Nicky, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, now as you know, this podcast is all about going deep and dissecting one key growth strategy so our listeners can really get as much value as possible right away. Now, you've, been knee deep when it comes to ambassador programs, and you guys have seen quite a bit of success with that as well. So I'd love to dissect that, see what's worked, what maybe hasn't, but maybe just to provide our audience a bit of context. Could you tell us a bit more about how do you define an ambassador program? How does it work at Goorin?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think that brand ambassador can be defined as fans of your particular brand that want to get involved um, on really any level. So it could be somebody that doesn't have a lot of followers but has bought a lot of your product.
Hmm.
It could be an influencer type person that wants to start out with your brand as a brand ambassador and create a relationship and move forward into perhaps a higher tier in paid uh, ambassadorship. Um, and it really even could include bigger, um, bigger, what am I going to say? I haven't done this particular brand ambassador program for a while, but it's almost like associations that spread your reach to
Right.
particular lists. I don't want to focus on those today. I want to focus, as you can see, I've even forgotten about them. I want to focus on really the brand ambassadors, the influencers, the culture creators of your particular brand.
Great.
So yeah,
Awesome.
that's the
Let's dive into it. I think my first question is there are different types of brand ambassadors and influencers that you can recruit in such a program. Um, where do you start? Like in your case, who is that influencer or ambassador? How do you find them? What's the process?
Luckily enough, Goran has a very big fan base, and so I didn't have to move anywhere. They were writing right into the DMs that they wanted to get involved with the brand. So after becoming social media manager, essentially in 2020, the pandemic really created a whole new market of pivoting left and right to be able
Hmm.
to get your brand to either A, like be noticed by people that are now staying at home, um, to be culturally relevant, hitting your particular people. And also like no one had time, space to do photo shoots. They didn't have on-site things any longer. So you needed to really push out the product to all these different people in order to create content and have it go online. And that was like a
Hmm.
huge boom. And so we really needed to do a number of things. We needed to find ways of working with the people that wanted to work with us. And we needed to like find a place for other people to really put all of their energy to help the brand grow, and they may not necessarily be paid. So incoming, we started with Refersion. It's an affiliate platform.
Okay.
This is in 2020. And so we basically were able to outreach to the people that wanted to work with our brand and give them the potential of basically sending out codes to their particular friends and followers to learn more about the brand, to show the brand, and to actually make a commission and then in turn create more fans of the brand and have that spread, spread, spread.
Awesome. Now, what are the mistakes? Like, I think here, I think a lot of people can listen to this and say, okay, well, let's just like find influencers that kind of fit our demographic, and let's recruit them. But the question I have is one, okay, you start this ambassador program. How many do you find? What exactly are you looking for? And are there like big mistakes to avoid when it comes to recruiting ambassadors? Because I can also imagine like with volume, I've had people on the podcast say that, they're working with 100,000 influencers, including micro influencers a year, right? Whereas you've also have very different brand strategies where, it's really just a handful of bigger ones or very niche. I'd love to know your take here on ultimately what you found has worked.
Yeah, it was very surprising the mistakes showed up a lot later.
Mm,
So it grows a little bit by little by little by little. It was a very successful program. It probably generated in its time period in the first year over $500,000 in sales. By the second year, it was over $1 million in sales. So it basically doubled upon doubling, the amount of people that are starting to show your product. There were a lot of great things that were going on. I would say the mistakes are, you don't want to get pigeonholed into a discount brand, right? So you're putting out these
yeah.
discount codes. And what I saw as something in hindsight is you have the same top people using the discount codes that
Mm,
begin to like accumulate their people. And so their people are now using their code to purchase your brand's product. But the problem becomes that they're just using that person's code over and over again to buy any of the products, and they're not necessarily recruiting new
interesting.
customers. So you have to be careful. Maybe the code should be a one-time code where it's only able to be used with
Yeah.
brand new customers. And then once they're in, they can no longer use the code any longer.
Right.
Uh, or unless there's like special circumstances or special collection, something like that, where they get to use a code. But I found that in hindsight, it's you're getting the same codes being used by the same people over and over again, and that person that is really the main code distributor is making a quite a bit of money off the brand,
Yeah.
but it feels as if maybe the brand could be now making that money, not the
Yeah. No,
influencer.
good for the margins. That's for sure.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah. Keep going.
the second mistake I would say is you really need to put guidelines down for the brand ambassador and how they relate to other brand ambassadors. I don't think this always happens with brands. We had a very unique conflict where the brand ambassadors were just getting a little too competitive with one another, and it created conflict between fans of the brand. And so we really needed to have many, many conversations.
Interesting.
And in the end, we chose to close the program.
Right.
And maybe it was due to it turned into something that became more challenging than it was positive. Let's just put it that way.
I
So
like
we had
that.
to, yeah, we had to make decisions. Some of the people that were brand ambassadors stayed working with the brand in some capacity that were the leaders, but we really just wanted to close the program and think with further strategy. So years later, here we are in 2025. I think we closed the program in maybe 2023. We had it for like onwards of almost 3 years. Um, so we just launched a brand new program that is totally different than brand ambassadorship two programs actually. One is this new rewards. It's from Social Strudel. It's a newer company that we are trialing right now. And essentially you're getting rewards for content you put out and different activities that you can
Hmm.
check into your page, complete, and then you get reward points that
Right.
will eventually earn you product, things that you can't get, uh, brand ambassador type rewards.
Right. So would you say in this case, maybe now the strategy is a bit more, let's turn all of our customers into potential brand ambassadors versus, you know, the other version, the previous version being a bit more curated, but not necessarily easier to manage or more beneficial.
I think the bottom line here is to make it competitive with yourself, not
Hmm.
necessarily with others. So I wanted this to particularly be based on anybody can apply. I mean, in the future, right now, I'm handing it out to select individuals to just see how it goes.
Right.
Um, the ultimate goal would see, oh, who is creating this content that people really want to see? Um, who is really putting their maximum effort into doing these types of activities so that they could move into like another tier? Who are
Hmm.
three companies that are receiving thousands and thousands of likes on their content that are
Right.
just doing this for rewards that may again become someone that is culturally relevant for the brand and that can be used in the future as an influencer or content creator, if you will.
Right. Can you give us some examples of maybe what those rewards are? Because I think what I'm realizing is, okay, this is a lot more brand ambassadorship than I thought. I thought maybe it was really just like small little things, but you're saying, okay, you're really encouraging people to create content, to really get as many likes, to create engagement. So in that case, what type of rewards are these people aiming for? Is it just like company products? Because I feel like maybe that would have a limit, unless you have a very, very, very strong and dedicated customer base. Love to hear on that.
Sure. So it's pretty new right now, and the idea in my mind, basically, and also what we're beginning with, is essentially can start out as something so small like a pair of socks,
Yep.
for a certain amount of lower point value. And then right now, I would say the top prize at the moment is a pack of five Gorin Friday drops, which
Got
are
it.
extremely coveted. I'll show you. This is, this is our new collection. So this is more of
Right.
like things. So they could earn potentially a new collection worth a certain amount of points, and then Friday drops would be like the coveted end all because you can't get Friday drops.
Hmm.
So this would be essentially once the Friday drops are over, we might have saved a certain amount of reserve, like very limited amount of reserve, probably like downwards of less than 10 hats, just in case there were problems or something like that with an order. And so these are things that people cannot get.
Right.
People are
Love
reselling for a
that.
lot of money. And so that would be that's like a 75,000 point reward.
Right.
So, you know, activities can be as little as 20 points all the way up till I think right now 1,000,
Right.
I don't think
And
there's
it,
anything maybe more than maybe 4 or 5,000 points.
Okay, got it. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I do have a feeling, however, that this also works really well for a brand like you guys because, and I know you're just starting to test this, but because there is such a hype and, coveted aura, I guess if I can put it that way, around your products, and you have a very dedicated customer base. I'm thinking maybe, this wouldn't necessarily work for someone who sells, I don't know, water bottles, right? Um,
You never know.
True.
You start small. I mean,
Yeah.
look at what the can. I'm blanking now. I'm blanking on a name.
Liquid
Uh,
Death, the water.
yes,
Right.
Liquid Death. Look at Liquid Death. Their
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
They have they've turned themselves into a huge,
Yeah.
huge platform, and
Good
content
point.
creation is on point. So yeah, water can go further than you think, right? I mean, the other program I just to sidetrack real quick is the TikTok new shoppable video program. So this is an affiliate program started by TikTok. And essentially, you have it could be anyone. It may not even be a fan of your brand, but they are people that are actually making livings off of showing different products to their fan base. And so essentially they
Mm,
get free products. Depends on how your group sets it up. They get free products from us. They could get refundable product if that is easier for your brand and you're not, super if you're not able yet to just like give out free product, but you can give out product knowing that if someone else buys from that person, then they will get refunded, something like that. So you don't have to start out by giving a ton of samples. But these are people, and there's recommended creators from TikTok, and essentially they get your product and they have to put up a video. They have to tag the product in the video.
mm.
Your shoppers, your fans, or anyone basically on the internet that are watching them can now see this product and purchase it right from them, and they get a commission based on what your company decides to
Very
set.
interesting. Here's ultimately, I think, for our listeners, I think one of the biggest takeaways I'm really getting from this episode, right, is that ambassador programs, I think people that or brands that want to test them sometimes have a very specific idea of what those are for them. But what you might initially think is a good ambassador program may prove itself to, not necessarily be ideal for the brand. And ambassador programs, just like meta ads, right? They're all things that have to be tested to some extent. You can't just say, if you've tested one type of ambassador program and it didn't work, you can't just say, hey, no, ambassadors and influencers and all of that doesn't work for us. You really got to look at, hey, maybe this structure is not favorable to our type of business, to our structure, and we should look into something else. So I think that's a very great lesson because I think there's a very fixed way of looking at ambassador programs sometimes amongst brands, and what you've shown us is there's really a rainbow of different approaches here. So
Yeah.
we've been
Also, like,
talking,
one
yeah,
is 1895. They've been around since 1895. They've pivoted so many different times in so many different ways, and
yeah,
I think it's important to try something out and realize that you're taking that risk. It may not work, and that you can come back and see, oh, what didn't work? What could work? What
yeah,
it what was the conflict going on with our particular brand ambassadors, and how can we still have something that the fans really want? They really want this. They want to be a part of the brand, and
yeah,
uh, I myself, I don't love, I want really authentic people to be a part of our brand ambassador journey. I don't, just because you have 500,000 followers, it doesn't mean that I want necessarily that particular follower count. I'd rather have someone that wears hats.
yeah,
So
and
for me,
that
it's,
is a customer.
yeah, that's a customer, that's a fan, and they
Yeah,
want these rewards. They want to be a part of it. And even if they have 250 followers, I mean, they could be affecting five people. That's five
yeah.
sales. That it all adds up.
I love that. We've been talking with Nicky Cutler. Now, Nicky, if people want to learn more about the brand, want to, kind of see what you guys are doing, where should they go? Or if they want to learn more about you, where should they follow you perhaps?
Sure. We have our Instagram page is Goorin Bros, our Facebook page is Goorin Bros, our TikTok page is Goorin Bros. Our website is Goorin.com, and we also have a Goorin Drops app where you can get Friday drops and limited edition drops. So there's
Amazing.
a lot of ways to get in touch. You can basically hit up the Goorin Bros Instagram page in the DMs, and that's me. You can chat with me anytime. I answer every single person that writes in.
Amazing. Nicky, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Raphael.